It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Look, guys, I want to go ahead and challenge you. I think that when you get in your 50s and beyond, you are hopefully approaching financial independence. I want you to be debt free. This entire category and discussion on this show is debt by age. And my goal for you by 50s and beyond, be debt free. Let's talk about how we get there.
And so if that's the goal, if that's what a financial mutant should do, you would think the statistics would show that. But unfortunately, that's not the way that it looks right now. When we look at the average debt for baby boomers, that's ages 57 to 74, they carry average auto loan debt of $18,700. Average credit card debt, it's still happening, of almost $7,000. Their mortgage debt is not paid off yet. They have an average mortgage debt of about $192,000. And somehow, they still have student loans. Perhaps it's theirs, perhaps it's kids, maybe it's even grandkids, but they still have student loans of almost $35,000.
You don't think it's like a Rodney Dangerfield situation where they went back to school in their 50s or
but
60s?
Look, in your 50s, 60s, if you're going back to school, I'm hoping that you can pay for it because you're financially independent. You don't have to take student loans to do it.
So let's talk about what are the biggest traps that even 50-year-olds and beyond fall into. It's still mortgages. Yep. I'm always amazed, and I hear about it from people. Instead of, the kids get out of the house and you buy a much more modest home to kind of downsize into. Yeah. You see it all the time where kids leave the house and then people buy bigger homes. It just seems very counterintuitive. And it once again shows me that people are still trying to flex. Now, look, there are some positive things. Maybe you want to have the landing pad for all the grandkids to come enjoy it. If you can afford it, great. But I think there's a lot of people that are faking that because you carry this pride with you too long, and you get yourself in a situation that you're not getting your best financial life.
The other thing that we see that happens in this baby boomer generation is there's still these credit cards. You wouldn't think that was still something that's happening. And this is what I think happens. We assume that as people age, they're supposed to be financially independent. They're supposed to be. And so I think some pressure falls on them that, okay, well, now I do have to pay for the family to go on the trip, and I have to support the grandchildren, and I have to do all of these things. If you're having to fake that and you're having to rack up credit card debt to look like the financially independent baby boomer, you are not doing yourself or your family any favors by continuing to extend yourself by using debt to expand the lifestyle.
Well, I just don't think financial independence, because this is the age of you're approaching financial independence, having a plan for financial independence, encumbered, meaning you have debt, just doesn't match up well.
Nope.
And yet here we go. We'll once again talk about auto loans. Once again, it's just as universal. Doesn't matter which decade we look at. People seem to be trapped on wanting to look good at the stoplight.
Absolutely. It's amazing that baby boomers ages 57 to 74 still have auto loan debt of $18,700. I'd like for most folks, when you get to this stage, you're probably a cash buyer. When it comes time for you to trade in your car or whatever, you probably just write a check because you're at the stage where you've planned for it and now your plan has come to full fruition. But that's not what we see in the average.
Yeah, the 23/8 is to give you the flexibility because we know life is pulling at your wallet and your net worth and your cash flow. By your 50s, I really don't like you having tools like that. You should be paying cash for most things in your life. So don't run astray of that. And then, but walk them through where average debt is by age.
So when we look at average debt by age, for those folks that are in the baby boomer generation, the 57 to 74, they still have about almost $26,000 of debt. We would really like that. For our financial mutants, we want you to be closer to zero. You shouldn't have debt. You should be at the financial independence, non-encumbered place. And even still, we see folks of the silent generation, the age 75 and plus, that are still carrying debt. They still have $13,000 debt. If you fall into this category, it's time to get out of that. Or if you're a young person looking at this, if you're a Gen Z or a millennial or a Gen Xer, you should say to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to be there. This debt that's been on my back for all these years, I'm going to get it gone. I'm going to get rid of it because I recognize compounding interest is the most powerful force out there. But man, when it works against me, is it hard to overcome that over the long term?
You see the trend is actually happening where people, as they get older, their debt does start to come down as they're approaching retirement. I want you to be ahead of the curve, though. I want you to be that 50-something, that 60-something that actually has zero debt.
Yep.
Because, guys, that's where really peace of mind, comfort, because there's already this transition from saver to spender that none of you could ever account for how you're going to feel the first time you go through a market downturn. And you no longer can just say, you know what, I'll work a few more years. No, you're going to be living off of your assets. And if you really want to mitigate that risk, that concern, or keeping you up at night, own your life. Own your life completely. Being financially independent, having zero debt is definitely the best sleeping pill and peace of mind you can have. And guys, you're probably, a lot of you are like, I whooped that. I got that. I mean, I had every bit of this. I'm trying to figure out how I can maximize what I'm doing with my money. This is why we create content on the Money Guy Show. This is why we talk about the abundance cycle, is when you grow your success. We know no matter how hard you're trying to keep it simple, complexity will find you, and you're going to be looking for a co-pilot. You're going to remember the guys that planted seeds for years in your financial life, where you came, learn, applied, grow this all completely free. The only ask we have is, when you get complex, when you get super successful, remember who planted the seeds, and then give us a shot to take the relationship to the next level. We appreciate you guys tremendously.
And we're going to keep loading you up. If you've not gone to our website, go to moneyguide.com/resources. Make sure you check out our financial order of operations. Make sure you check out our brand new deliverable that we debuted on this show. And you can use all of these tools to help you take your finances to the next level.
I'm your host, Brian Preston, Mr. Bo Hansen, Money Guy Team. Money Guy Team is out.